So someone davens here, in Gemara Baruch Toller. He says that he has this group. He sends out a couple of hundred people every week, especially Soidru, some little talk about respecting the Beis HaKnesses, not talking in the time of davening. So he asked me if I could say something. In this week's Parsha, Yaakov Avinu says, "Wow, Manoida Hamokim Azeh Vayida Vayomer. Manoida Hamokim Azeh K'Einzek Im Beis Hazeh Shara Shamayim." Chazal say he said, "Wow," he was trembling. He said, "This is the Beis Hamikdash. This is the place of the Beis Hamikdash." Okay. So there's a story that used to be told a lot by the Maril Diskin, the Brisker of Yerushalayim. He said that there was. In the city of Poznan in Poland, there was a Godel B'Yisrael, the Bal Tzmicha Zachomer and Naftali Katz, and once there was people at Achmon Latzlan, there was an outbreak of a disease and people were dying. So he Shem Yishmor, and he was Gozer Tainis, and he told everyone to come to shul, and he said to do tshuva, and he asked that anyone that knows anything unusual going on in town, they should come tell him. So people came and told him there's a Psayid, a simple Jew, his name is Shlomo Zalman. Shlomo Zalman Auerbach. This story is recorded by the Chaim Auerbach and Magdam the Sefer. So this guy, every night he disappears from his house and he goes out somewhere out of the town. And we don't know, it's very suspicious. Where is he going? Every night. He goes somewhere every night in the middle of the night. He sneaks out of town. So the Rabbi said, let me try tonight. I'll go and follow this fellow, find out what is he doing. Maybe it's something bad. So he follows the person, he goes out of town, and he goes into the forest, and he sits down and he starts to cry. And he hears that there's a voice with him. And he cries and cries for a long time, and then he gets up and he goes back to town. So the Rav walks over to him and says, Shalom Aleichem, Shlomo Zalman. He says, what were you doing? And who are you talking with? So he was hesitant to speak. The Rav said, look, instead of Naftali Katz, it was like, he said, I demand that you tell me exactly what's going on. So he said that every night he does Tikkun Chatzos, and he cries for the Churban Beis HaMikdash. So from here they decided that he shouldn't do it alone, that he should do it with someone else. They figured the best person to do it with is Yirmiyahu HaNavi, because Yirmiyahu HaNavi knows how to cry for the Churban. So he sits every night at Chatzos, and he does Tikkun Chatzos, and he cries about the Churban Beis HaMikdash, and he cries together with Yirmiyahu HaNavi. So the Rav says, you're sitting every night with Yirmiyahu HaNavi? I can't believe it. The town is in turmoil, people are dying, and you're sitting with Yirmiyahu HaNavi every night. Can't you talk to him, ask him what's going on? He says, I'm sorry, I'll do it tomorrow night. So next night, he goes out with his chavrusa, Yirmiyahu HaNavi, and they sit and they cry. And he asks Yirmiyahu HaNavi, what's going on? And the Rav wants to know what could be done in order to stop this magefa. Yirmiyahu HaNavi said that even the time of the second Beis HaMikdash, even there was such big Rishonim, but they were very respectful. When they came into the Beis HaMikdash, they were very respectful. Therefore, it held back the Churban for many, many years. It doesn't matter how big of a Rosh the person was. When they came to the Beis HaMikdash, they came to the Harabayis, they were unbelievably respectful to the Eibishter. As soon as that stopped, that's when the Churban happened. He said, if everyone is going to accept upon themselves not to speak in the time that they come into shul, and they'll have cover to the Beis HaKnesses, that will be the absolute remedy. The Rav went and made an announcement, everyone came to shul, and they made a takona in the town that no one will talk from when they walk in till they walk out of shul. This is the story. Yeah, so let's read a little bit from the Shulchan Aruch. It says in Shulchan Aruch, Nerechaim, Sinfufnon Aleph, Botik Nisis Avot Medroshes, Einagem Mem Karlos Roish, Glen Schoik, Vihisul Sikha Betela. They are not allowed to speak any Sikha Betela in Shul. I have a question to ask, and I don't have the answer, but maybe the Olam will have an answer. We'll get to this soon. Because there's a special takona from the Alter Rebbe, and in Simon Chov Daled in the Geras HaKodesh. And the takona is not to speak a Sikha Batela from the first Kaddish until the Kaddish Basa. It sounds like before the Kaddish, first Kaddish, and after the Kaddish Basa, you are allowed to speak. So I'll leave it for you to answer the Shaila. First, I just want to go through the material. Vayetzei says, "B'oven zen epochin abot eknesis lebot avodah zorah." Smak. The Smak is one of the poskim says that if you see Rachmana litzlan a shul turned into a church, which unfortunately you see many times, you should know that the reason for that is that this Rachmana litzlan, this shul, they were talking in this Beis HaKnesses, and therefore, because of that oven, this Beis HaKnesses turned into a church. And it continues in the Vayetzei of Kosav Aram, Afila Nasa beBeis HaKnesses Aveda, Shemotzi L'Shamish Mes'oilu L'Nara Achas, Shemuta L'Spal Sham B'chol Kedushas Beis HaKnesses Avot. Let's continue. The Mishnah Berurah says, in the beginning of Simon Kuf Nun Aleph, about the shul, that you have to respect it. You're not allowed to talk Sikha B'Teila. Came Nikar and Nikdash Me'at. It's called a small miniature Beis HaMikdash. Beis Mikdoshi Tiro Shemerol Shel Shoichem Ba'alov. And he brings the name of the Peirim Agodim. Haina Afila Sikha B'Teila Shitzorech Parnasa. The Mechutz Shori. The Beis HaKnesses also B'Frat Sikha B'Teila L'Gamri. Then what does it mean Sikha B'Teila? And then he goes on about Lashon Hara. Obviously, it's Chaim talking. He says it happens in shul that someone says something and the other one says, and it turns out Rachmana litzlan to a brawl, and Rachmana litzlan is the worst thing in the world, and v'chulu v'chulu. B'frad it all starts at Lashon Hara and finishes with Lashon Hara. But interesting diuk, he says that Sikha B'Teila can't mean something which is also to speak. Idle talk, that it's also to talk all day, even in the marketplace, and then we're talking about means that it's mutter to talk. And Lamai in the basic classes, it's also. Now let's look at the Alter Rebbe. In Igeres HaKodesh Perek Chov Daled, the Rebbe writes like this: Ahu ve'achai, to my brothers and my friends, people I love, alma tereu, reim ahuvim liyotzrim, esnuim liyitzrim. To the people who love the Eibishter and hate their Yetzer Hara, I want to talk to you. Don't do this terrible thing, which is going to be talking in the Beis HaKnesses. A person should not allow himself to be a Rosha even one moment in front of the Eibishter. In this hour that the Eibishter picks out of the day, the Eibishter picks an hour and says that my people could come in front of me to the miniature Beis HaMikdash, that even though they're in the place of Tum and Golus, the Eibishter says, I'm going to reveal myself to the Eden. And Lihimotza L'Dorshav, I'm going to make myself available, says the Eibishter, the people that seek me, those that yearn to him. So the Eibishter makes an hour in the day that time people could talk to him. So now that the people come into the Mikdash Me'at to talk to him, and not Sapa, but Tzarachav, a person's talking about his own needs, so in other words, it's disrespectful to the Eibishter. The Eibishter says, this is the hour we're going to communicate. And he's sitting with his friend and talking about his own needs. So it's, in other words, the glory of the Eibishter is not important to him.
Well, it's somewhat important because he came to shul in the first place.
Yeah, but you'll see soon the mashal. V'nasa merkava tameya, he becomes an unholy chariot, l'chsila alien to the supernal fool. Shenema, which is the Yetzer Hara. Shenema lo yachpatz ksil tvuna. Kamashkotzav v'azoyer v'arizal ha'shein chafetz l'izboina v'lidus v'yikor tiferes v'dulos shel melech malchim malachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu, that he doesn't have the desire to look and to see the beauty of the Eibishter, the King of Kings, Haniglas L'mayla B'shazu, who is revealed in all heavens at this time of Tefillah, V'gam Lamata, and also in this world, in the time of Tefillah is an auspicious time that a person that really wants to see the glory of the Eibishter could see it. Elachafeitzim, to those that desire lahabit al kvoidoi ugeduleiamisatef amislabish b'toich tevis Tefillah, the greatness of the Eibishter, which is revealed and is enclosed in the words of Tefillah, asdura b'fikoil. This Tefillah, which is organized in everyone's mouth, and is revealed to everyone based on how much seichel there is and based on the sheilos of his own neshama. That the pasuk says that a person, based on the seichel, that's how much praise they get. So the pasuk pshat is a person who's very wise. The people say, achochem. But the Alter Rebbe says, no, that's not the way you read the pasuk. That based on how much seichel a person has and understanding the Eibishter, that's how much good his davening is. Based on how much chassidus you learn, that's how good your davening goes. The Gemara says that the heavenly kingdom is reflected in the kingdom on earth. There are people that wait years to get into the special home where the king is. Now there's a mashal that Alter Rebbe gives that there's people they don't have the schus to see the king, and then the king said, you know what? I'm going to give permission. I'm going to give the hard passes to journalists to come in. And then there's one journalist who decides to be a big chutzpahyak. So what happens? He loses his pass.
The king lowers himself, looking like a loser and a fool. Mixed with a commoner, and he looks like a commoner.
The king decided one day that the doors are open. Everyone could come in at this hour and could communicate with him and could see the glory of his palace and the glory of the king. A person that comes into the palace and stands there, but doesn't want to look at the king, is dealing with his own things. Everyone says, look at this guy, he's a fool. He has a hard pass to go into the White House, and instead of asking the questions to the president, he's sitting on his cell phone and playing games. What kind of fool this guy is? וגם הוא ביזוין המלך בהרויסה לפונו שאין אסופם ואין בלקבל נחס וששורים מהובת אל כבוידה ויופי ויועסה מסעסק בצרוכם. It's also designed to the melech that the melech gives him a pass to come into the palace, and instead of looking at the melech, he's looking at his cell phone and playing games. וגם הוא מסחייב בנפשוי למלך על הרויסה כלוינה בזיוני יש המלך לעיני כל רויה. He's embarrassing the melech, says chayiv misa. Wow. The man sitting now in the White House would like to know this. It's not only you can evoke the hard pass, you can chop off his head. Huh? Well, then Uchsil made him kolam. It says in the pasuk that the fool embarrasses himself. So he's a fool. What do you want from him? So the answer is that a fool could keep quiet and no one knows that he's a fool. But then he goes and tells everyone he's a fool. So who asked him to tell everyone he's a fool? It's the same thing here. Alter Rebbe is going to say, sometimes a person comes to shul and he's not inspired to daven and he doesn't see the glory of the Eibishter. What can you do? So if he'd done the proper preparations before davening and made the achonas he would yahalel based on his understanding of the Eibishter. He would see the glory of the Eibishter through the words of Tefillah. Now he doesn't. But he acts as if he's standing in the front of the king, so he's not embarrassing himself. Chazal say you should make believe you're standing in front of the king. What do you mean make believe? We're standing in front of the Eibishter. So why is Chazal saying you make believe? The answer is that not always do you really feel you're standing in front of the Eibishter, in front of the king. Sometimes a person comes to shachris davening. It happens sometimes to some people that the person comes to davening in shul and he doesn't feel very inspired, and he doesn't see the Eibishter and his glory through the words of tefillah. So Chazal say it doesn't matter, but at least in the outward manner, it should be as if you're standing in front of a king. Al kaponim yeh marav atzma kilo oimed le'ein kol roya ve'enei basar el ma'aser v'debur af she'en l'machshava l'ksila al zen itaken kol atfilo l'mizbanim ha'meitim u'mishe'en l'mare keim eschai b'nafshe v'alovam Rabbi Zoyer then hogit kolona b'tikuni elo v'ach ze prudem les l'chulka v'l'kad Yisrael rachmana l'tzlan al kein sh'l'chusay derazal ko'avdina ligzeg zayda shava l'chol nefesh. I'm going to be the messenger of our sages, and I'm going to make a new gzeira. A gzeira which is applicable to everyone. Shaloi l'siach sicha b'teila, not to talk any idle talk. Mishiyaschel ha'shliach tzibur l'isbal ha'tfila, from when the beginning of the tefillah, ad gemar kaddish basar, until the last kaddish. Shachris, arvis, and mincha. Chulu. Ba'oiver al zeh bezoden, a person intentionally goes and talks in the middle of davening, Yeshiv ala orich, sit on the ground. V'yavakish megibal anoshim she'atira lo nidush l'maylo, and ask 3 men as a bezdin to undo the excommunication of heaven. V'shavar rafalei, he'll be healed. V'lo shav cholol of shum nidul mafrei. Retroactively, the nidul goes off, and it never went on to the person. Kim etchiloser lechol kim ala mordim v'poishim she'nechloshim klal levakish kaporem min hashamayim min abriyas al oven ha'plili hazeh. Wow. And the Alter Rebbe adds, it's only if he spoke intentionally. If a person said 3-4 words, check a person's heart and kidneys, the Eibishter knows if it was intentional or not intentional, or it was accidental. Unbelievable. This is like,
my father told me when he was a Bochum in the 70s, tough sheet. And once he was out, and the Vietnam border came down and told him that when he was home, and they ever a shop came to him, what's happening during the show? What's happening in my show?
What's happening in my show?
Maybe the Rosh will say this story.
No, I never heard this story.
My father told me he was never happy.
But the problem is, where are you going to find 3 people that are going to be matter your nefesh? Where are you going to find 3 people that never spoke to the Lord? You know, it's very hard. Where are you going to find 3 people that never... You're talking here about someone that's never been over on this. Otherwise, how could he do all beyond the best?
Well, he's a cheskes kashrus, unless you know otherwise.
This is like
It's a tough one.
The Moshe says Lashon Hara, right? There's no one that's never been on Avak Lashon Hara. So it's kind of this is something harder to not to, I'm saying, you know, Gabe has probably more to tell you than most people. You know, this even on base managers all day.
Oh, this is my shaila. Why did the Alter Rebbe make this gezeda
just during davening?
Just during davening. L'choida Sichim B'Teila is also the whole time you're in the basic Knesses. So I have many tiruts in my mind. The Ikid is not the Ikid is the kasha. The teretz is not even.
They called it a zal. That's why they called it a zal.
Right. One thing I'm thinking is that the takona that a person, if has to ask mechila, if a poshet sitting on the ground, ask mechila for 3 people, that takona is only if a person spoke from the first kaddish until the last kaddish, any time in between. But in the basic Knesses, not. There's other truths in my mind. We make these days, before we build the basic Knesses, we make a special tonight. You allowed to eat and drink in there. So maybe therefore it's mutter to talk dvarim. I don't know. I haven't seen.
It's more common than a base of medrash.
Well, others say base of medrash is more common.
No, as far as Sicha B'Teila, the kedusha of the basic Knesset is more common.
What does Alter mean, Kaddish Basra?
Some say like this. Huh?
After all, means
The last kaddish probably means. I don't know. Probably means the last kaddish.
I just know that's sort of a word because he says that the measures is more like a base of like a bias. So they're more tailored than the base of measure.
There are more tailored. There's sometimes that say this. This medrash is bigger. This Knesset is bigger.
But maybe we should take off the sign base of measure, base of Menachem. We should just write base of Zal, base of Menachem Zal. This way, the people will make everybody happy.
Just based on
Right Zal, right Zal, right Zal.
That's great.
No, that's what I'm saying. That's why I wrote on the outside base of medrash, because in this neighborhood it's more choshev when you write base of medrash. They should think that they should know that we're learning. I should think that we're Kyle. Our Rav can wipe the clock of most of the Rabbanim neighbors.
Shkar for the bracha. Take it.
No. You can say amen to that bracha.
Amen. Okay, so let's go to second Shiloh.
Bracha loshen bakosh. I'm saying the derech emes.
Okay, taking it.
I mean, I'm not the neighbor. I'm not the neighbor, but for the raid that I hear, you know, it's kleine Sachen, you can open the grace Sachen.
Someone asked me a Shiloh this week. He was at work and his wife texted him that she is Anida. Okay, so he come home and his wife said, "Oh, by the way, that was nothing. I realized." These were his words. I realized it was a maka. I didn't ask what it meant.
What?
Maybe she has hemorrhoids. She realized that the blood was not from the uterus.
Menstrual side. It wasn't a menstrual blood. It was
something.
wound.
Clearly a wound. So now his question was but she clearly texted that she wrote, "I am a needle."
How is that different than if she said it to him on the phone?
I'm telling you a question a person asked. I don't ask people
Right.
how to ask their question.
Yeah.
I tell you the question the way it was asked.
Yeah.
So the shaila is she muteris or not, right? So here's the answer. There's a concept of a masla. Logan is the first guy who knows how to give an excuse for everything. The Welt says a masla is two words. A masla means excuse. Emes loy. That ever said, exactly. So turn the page. It says the Gemara Ksiva, Boy Menei, Shmuel, Merav. Now Shmuel asked a question from Rav. Omra Tmeyani. She said, Tmeyani. Because of Omra Toirani. She said later to her husband, I'm Toira. Mao, what is the din? Omar Lei. So Shmuel got the answer. Omar Lei. Abba Zuim Nosna Masla Lidvarea Namenes. If the woman gives an excuse for her words, why originally she said she's Tmei and then Toira, she's trusted. Tani Minei Arba'im Zimnin. Shmuel asked Rav 40 times the same question. And every time he told him the same answer. Can you imagine? Someone comes to Rav 40 times. Kosher? Kosher? He answered him every time.
Very patient.
40 times. But here what happened.
He must have tried.
Could be for 40 miles. Yeah, probably. I'm making a joke. It wasn't that he came. He came 40 times, 40 mices.
Listen, there was a lady that called Moshe Feinstein for 40 years. She wanted to know what kind of lichben she was.
It's unbelievable.
It's unbelievable.
Unbelievable.
Half of the fellow, and he answered every week.
Wow.
I think it was 17 years.
17.
I was.
Did you go for a calendar?
Yeah, imagine if your wife asked you twice in the same Shabbos, 3 times. I didn't tell you the first time.
Half of a vela. But you see, Chazal were that way. I feel the hocher loy ovid Shmuel uvde ben avshei. Even though 40 times Rav told him that it's mutter, and you understand, Rav is the expert in Isurim. Shmuel is the expert in Mamoini. Whenever there's a machlokes in Rav and Shmuel when it comes to Isurim, we pass him like Rav. If it's a mominous, we pass him like Shmuel. So Shmuel is not the expert here. Shmuel is asking Rav 40 times, and still when it came to Rav and his own family, his wife tells him, I'm Tameya, and then she said, I'm Tahira, and she explained herself, he was Machmer.
He was machmer.
He was Machmer.
But to Shmuel, he was meichel.
No. Shmuel himself, even though Rav told him, your wife is
So he didn't
permissible
rely
to
on
you.
Rav, who was the fucking...
He relied, but he decided to be Machmer for himself.
So what's the point in asking Rav not listening to what Rav said?
No, because...
He wanted to hear from the Tzaddik Ador.
Right. Because he wanted to hear the halacha. But it's interesting.
But that's not how we. It's not how we pass it, right?
It's unbelievable how the poskim take every word in the Gemara so seriously. So we paskin like Rav, and the Shulchan Aruch says you're allowed to be machmir if you want. It's a special discount today that if you really want to be machmir, we let you be machmir. That's why the Gemara told the story. In other words, otherwise it would be osur to be machmir. Read the Shulchan Aruch.
But one second, you said you can be machmir, but what if your wife doesn't want to be machmir?
So that's the kula. That's why. That's the pshat. Even though. What's your tenet?
He says usually it's the other way around.
That has to do with our halacha.
Leave it to a Californian.
Put your comment on hold for a second. You'll see it's negeya.
It's from LA. What you can't explain.
L'chein pasuk v'shulchan aruch amra levaila. The woman said to her husband, Tameani. She said, I'm toher. V'achkach amra tohirani. Then she said, I'm toher. Einu nemena. She's not trusted. Why is she not trusted? Because once she says she's tameya, she's established she's tameya. So, like the Alter Rebbe says, for example, she says, I was making a joke. I was making a joke.
What about Pesha or Sheilos?
No, she's not trusted. However, im nosna masla ledvoreo, she explained herself. It's a good question. She explained herself. Kagon sheimeda, she says, shaloi omro kein tchila el bnei shaloi hoya bakoyach luzbel tashme shetay nacheres kiyotza bazen amenes. If she says she wasn't interested in sleeping with him, that's why she said. Then the Alter Rebbe adds to it. What if the woman says, I was angry at you? So she's nemenis. If she says, I was making a joke, she's not nemenis. But if she says, I was angry at you, she's nemenis. Because that's the derech of noshim. So then she's nemenis. But if she says, I was making a joke, she's not nemenis. That's not the derech for a woman to do such a thing. There's no jokes here. But she says, I was angry at you. So then she's nemenis. Because that's common.
They play games in military.
Yeah, that's right.
It's not like smaller games. Here, even here, this is like when the Raisa, Choris, they're playing games.
Yeah, they got it from the Zayda Lova. It's in the family. It's a midas chassidus. If he wants to be machmir, not to trust her, he's allowed to do that.
It's a midas chassidus not to trust.
I hope you're not writing commentary now.
Coming to you live.
I told him to come today. I told him I begged him to go.
You should always go.
No, he's a good. It's great for the ship.
So the Alter Rebbe says, what's the kayoytza said? So the Alter Rebbe says, say any excuse. Kayoytza b'zeh. So Alter Rebbe gives a few examples. Gon shetova ba'ila v'choyse imim v'chotzav. Amr le'tmeani. V'achkach amr le'toyrani. V'le'mark l'chotmeni al b'nei achoyse chevimcha sh'le'risonu. Kayoytza b'zeh. She says, the woman says, you were getting too close to me, and your mother was in the house, and I'm uncomfortable, so I told you I'm a nida. But now that your mother left, you should know I'm ta'ira. She could be trusted. V'cheinim omra svura yisilis tmeiv achshav badakti atzmei u'matzosi shemach masmako oichabura bo adam elai. Okay, so she's trusted. So this is mamish this case. Yeah, she's mamish. Now I think this case is even better. Because l'choira, here it's not just an amasla. An amasla is like an excuse. She says, I was angry at you. So because I'm angry at you, I said I'm the nida. But now, I'm not angry at you anymore. So I'm going to tell you the truth. But here, a woman realizes that the blood came from the makkah, then it's for sure muteres. Anyway, in these issues, it's not always a big mitzvah to be a big extra chosed. Because the Gedol Yisrael, the Rebbe said about many issues on this thing, that sometimes a person tries to be an extra chassid and it backfires. A person tries to be an extra chassid, so he's be more machmir on these issues. But then, Achman al-Atzlan, the person has machshav azoris or such things, so it's not kedai to be machmir.
Especially in someone else's cheshbon.
Especially in someone else's cheshbon. You're right.
So we already established that. We already established that.
Not only even what happens if they're now in a situation that's clearly not pruravu, she's a muberes, or she's a menika, or
she's a muberes. She can't become a menika.
Right. I meant really something else. I meant if she's not having children right now anyway. So, but it doesn't matter. This thing that Rebbe said many times. Because, for example, there's one of the things about Api Toras Asoid, the Rambam brings it also. A person should be mashamash only at midnight. The Rebbe says that after Chatzos, the Rebbe says not to do that. Why? Because a person tries to be extra frum, but then it backfires. So therefore,
But that's what it says in the Zohar, though. It says the Neshamas come only after Chatzai.
right. So the Zohar was talking to people that till Chatzos they were not having any machshavas zoros, and it was working for them, and all day it was talking. The Zohar was talking about people that are on that level.
All right, but we do so many things according to the Zohar.
That's why we need a Rebbe to tell us.
I got it.
That's why you need a Rebbe. Me and
Exactly.
you are not.
I hear you. No, you're right. You're 100% right.
Next question. Someone asked me the Shiloh, what's unbelievable Ashgacha Pratis? On a Thursday, I'm standing in front of 770. I get a text from a girl in our shul, a very, very fine girl. She works in Manhattan in a bank, very choshev bank. And she says there is that day there was a chaga in India called Diwali, several names. It's a festival of light. Light over darkness is almost sounds like Hanukkah, But in India, everything's suspect for Avodah Zorah. So she asked me, what's the din? They have candles in the entire office. People are getting dressed up. They're having a party in honor of this Indian holiday. What is she allowed to do, and what is she not allowed to do? It's like Ashkocha Brotis. I said I'll get back to you in a minute. You'll hear in a minute what it is. As I walk into the 70 and I put the talis over my shoulder, who do I see? Shalom Aleichem, Shliach in Bangalore. I said, how about I have a shayla for you? What do you say about the shayla? He says, I have an answer for you. Walk with his phone. And he shows me, he says, this is Avodah Zorah Mamish.
Wow.
He shows me, this is Avodah Zorah. This is Mamish Avodah Zorah. And he says, I want to tell you a story. He says, he had a mashgiach come for the Eida Charedis, staying in his house. And every day, he's coming back from a factory, and he'd bring back a bag of fruits. And he was always offering the shliach. The shliach said, no, I don't want.
So he said, give me enough fruits.
Yeah, the mashgiach comes. So then the mashgiach said to the mashgiach, why don't you want to take some fruits? So he says, I think they're also. What? Apples? Bananas? He says, it's also bachil, it's also banoah. The mashgiach didn't believe him. He said, okay, you don't believe me? Go tomorrow when they give you the fruits in the factory. Ask them where they got the fruits. So Mashgiach says, fine. So next day, at the end of the day, Mashgiach leaves. They give him a bag of fruits as a gift. So he says, where are the fruits from? So they said, well, you don't know where the fruits are from?
Very crispy.
There is a big Buddha sitting right there when you go in, and the workers, when they come in the morning, they offer something to the Buddha. One brings an apple, one brings a banana.
In India, it's
and
crispy.
For them, it's also ba'achila. They gave it to the Avodah Zorah. It's a gift to Avodah Zorah. It's also for them to eat it. If they're going to leave it there for a few days, what's going to happen? It's going to rot.
The Buddha doesn't eat fruits.
Exactly. His big belly is already. So what do? So they have to wrap it up and give it to a non-believer. No worker in this factory is going to take that fruit. It's like also ba'achila, also ba'ana for them. They're from. So, can you imagine? So
You're not allowed to
Shliach
have
says,
meat. You can't have meat in India. You can't eat
milk. Shliach
also,
says he has a
right?
problem with milk.
Exactly, sure.
He has a
And
problem
leather.
with
You can't
milk.
even a leather belt is a problem there.
He can't. He says it's an unbelievable problem for his kids. He can't. And to ship milk is very hard. And he says to get local milk is because every cow is avodah zorah.
Exactly.
Every cow is avodah zorah.
Cows are avodah zorah.
Last Wednesday was the
Holy cow!
Last Wednesday was the new day of the year. Are we allowed to be happy?
I'm gonna take it.
You know, the only cows that they allow there are cash cows. The cash cow is exempt.
So
That made me devour the tail.
No. Vodazor, you're allowed to make a Vodazor, you're allowed to make
you're allowed to make latzonos from avodah zorah. So I was
You
thinking,
just said the
it's unbelievable. Ashgacha Pratis it has to do with this week's Parsha. Because what did Rachel do? Rachel went and stole the trophim from her father. And I think I see a beautiful pattern here. There's two medrashim, many, but they go into two classes. One is that Rashi brings, she steals the trophim because she wanted her father to stop doing avodah zorah. Well, how did she think her father will stop doing avodah zarah? So there's a few reasons. I think the very logical thing is like this: she's going to steal it. The father's going to say, "Where is my avodah zarah?" And then he's going to think to himself, "Hey, wait a minute. This guy is a god. This is a god. A god. He gets stolen and he can't help himself. This is a god." So maybe he's going to realize, he'll come to his realization that this is nothing. Okay, but the other midrashim, yeah.
But that's like very unlikely, because it's not like the first time he lost his avodah zarah. She's Rachel, where he was like, was she 10 or whatever she was, and it's not that Lavan was been worshipping idols forever. I'm sure he lost a few and had that same shayla. Maybe that's the whole avodah zarah, to think that he lost himself, not that the avodah zarah got lost, that he's doing a trick. Or
you see, you're right. He made excuses to himself.
Yeah.
And he was so gung-ho over his avodah zarah, he was going to kill his own daughters and grandchildren because he wanted back his avodah zarah.
But the same thing
Or he
happened.
thought that the avodah zarah would work, he would start the shechter, and the avodah zarah would pop up and say, "Okay, stop, the game's over."
And it still didn't work right. But the other class of Midrashim say a different pshat. They say she did it because she was scared as soon as Yaakov Avinu will escape. That Yaakov made an escape because he realized that Lavan is never going to let him go. So he made an escape. And she was scared that her father will immediately find out where they are because he's going to ask the Terofim. So I was thinking that this mamish goes well with there's a famous machlokes in the Rishonim. The Rambam writes that in the end of Hilchos Avodah Zarah, the end of Perek Yud Aleph, he says any person that believes that witchcraft and that witchcraft and all these stuff that it works is a fool. Kol hamamim medvarim ha'elu machasher b'li b'shein emes v'divrei chochma v'laTorah saraton. If a person thinks that these are true, they're powerful, but the Torah says it's forbidden. Ein elam en aksolim ubechlal hanoshim v'aktanim she'ein daitem shlema. He's a fool. He's like a child or woman whose brain is not developed. Avabale achochma tmine adeyes. But the people who are wise and have a developed brain, yedu berayes berura shekol elo advorim she'osar Torah einen divrei chochma l'toyu v'hevel. That all these things of witchcraft is vanity. That the people who have less seichel were drawn to it.
Avraham Avinu gave to Yishmael gifts, and Chazal says the gifts were all these.
So there's a big shuvah from the Rashba.
All the hocus pocus.
Exactly.
Abracadabra is from Arabic. Abracadabra. It's all Arabic.
Abracadabra.
Yes, Arabic.
So that's a big shaila, and not only that.
Yeah, it's the same thing.
Rabbi said, you don't know how much I had to go at that time, right? Seems like the Rebbeim
The
helped.
Ramban did hold that Kishuv has a power, and there's a long tshuva in the Rashba who they say is really from the Ramban, who says it's not true. And he brings, there's a
True the Rashab and the cat.
Start the Alter Rebbe with the Machashev.
Yeah.
So there's a machloikas. I would say that this machloikas, the Rishonim, goes back to the machloikas in the Medrash. One opinion says she steals the terofim for her own safety, because she says, my father will look in the Avodah Zarah, and he gets like looking in a computer, looking in a video screen. He can see exactly where we're traveling. So I'm going to steal it for our safety. The other opinion says, Baba, my Avodah Zarah is all baloney. She stole it only to hold him back from doing Avodah Zarah. Maybe this is the machloikas between the Tanchuma and the Bereishis Rabbah. Tanchuma holds that Avodah Zarah, there is substance to it. So she steals it in order for her protection. She knows that her father could find out anyone's whereabouts through his Avodah Zarah. But the other Bereishis Rabbah says, it's like the Rambam, it's all Baba Maises. But she only did it l'shem shemayim.
The Torah gives us Mefursha examples. So Aaron threw down the staff, it turned into a taninim. Rashi says that the Mitzvah said, you're bringing coal to Newcastle.
Right.
There's a game, there's child games. You try to throw down a staff and make it into a serpent, that's nothing.
Right. Then
You
Ramban has to explain
made
it.
the Nahar into Dam, this is garnish.
We can do the same.
Yeah. This is all, and even
The
out of
Rambam holds-
Yom, every day there's new things coming out of the Egyptian mummies, and it is a story that they find new graves and this. This was the witchcraft capital of that universe.
The Rambam holds
Cats,
all that.
yeah, right. Just found cats and mummies.
The Rambam holds that this is they found cats' mummies. We have to talk about it in a second.
Sure, Cat Stevens.
Read in inside. There's number one, Batigna v'rochelas atrofim asher lavia. She steals the trofim. So the Beishis Rabbah says lahafrish avia mavodah zora. The Tanchuma says kadesh lo yomru lelavan sheyakam bereich. The trofim shouldn't speak to Lavan. So I'm bringing here 3 midrashim who explain what the trofim are. There's many more, but I'm bringing you 3 of the juiciest ones. Meviim Adam bechor v'shoich tinoise. They take a firstborn of the family, they slaughter the man. Moilchin oise b'melech, they put him in salt, ubesamim and spices. V'koisvin al tzitz zov shem tuma u'manichin tachas l'shaynoi. They put a gold plate under his tongue with a name of tuma on it. U'manichin oise bekir. They put this dead person into the wall. And they mummify him. Umadlikin lafon of neidos, they light candle. Umadaber imam balachash, and he talks to them quietly. Second opinion, the
Tell them the numbers in the lottery.
Hoy masimim adam bechavis shel shemen. They would put a man lock him into a barrel of oil. V'hoy b'yomim rabim achabala b'sorei. He would be stuck in that barrel for many, many days until his whole skin was like torn apart. V'oichazim b'sar kotkode, they'd pull him out by his hair of his head. U'moishech v'nishmat hareya imarosh. What would happen is they would pull out, and the body was decomposed. So all that would come out was the skull, and out of it would be hanging the lungs. And they would hang him up again on the wall. They would light candles, and he would communicate with them. Third opinion is meviim adam oda. They'd find a gingy. Gingy were very. Huh?
So why do they have to use olive oil? Use canola.
Apparently, canola oil doesn't work.
Get the lesson.
You know, like in Africa today, it's they have these things like an albino in some countries in Africa is like danger.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
They still right. So they in the days of Lava
Also a redhead.
Right. So they would take a redhead, they would tie up the person. Umarivim min chaya, they would take an animal and starve the animal, and then they would let the animal go at the person. V'yonekes domei, the animal would suck out his blood. Then they would kill the animal, cook the animal, and then the people would drink from the blood of the animal who has ingested the blood of that person. A person that tastes from that blood, Yodeya Lahovin Kol Asidus knows all the future.
Good to sugar, that's a great thing.
So these three midrashim, these 3 midrashim are describing 3 different ways of what the trofim is. So I think that there's a machloikis. One opinion holds that it works, that trofim works. That's why the Torah says it's also like that Anban, and therefore she steals it. But the other opinion holds like that Rambam, that this is all baloney, and any rational person would not believe in any of this. And the only reason she steals it, l'shem shemayim.
The Medrash says Lavan was the biggest kishuf macher of all time.
Right.
Everything that Bilam got, Bilam was his great-grandson or great-great-grandson. Everything that Lavan gave, he was just like Shem. Everything Shem and Ava got, they gave to Avram. Everything Lavan got, he gave to Bilam. And Bilam was, you see, Bilam's flew. And
was a kesem.
He was a wizard. He was like the modern day. What's the name of that book that they all read?
Oh,
Harry Potter. He was the modern day Harry Potter.
Where did she hide this stuff? It's all this stuff.
Isn't it that Abraham gave Ishmael the black magic?
Right. That's what.
So
So it seems like
how is it
he gave
that
him
it's not-
something. It seems like he gave him something.
How is it that it's not possible and it's all hocus pocus? Isn't there something behind it?
That Rambam holds
Rambam
was nothing.
holds that it's
Even
all
what-
He told him how to do a good show.
Like the Yidden were like the Yidden
Copperfield. Got it.
Yeah,
It
exactly.
says when the Mitzvah were following the Yidden were so scared. What were they scared about? They had a whole year of the Satan Makkahs. They were all limping and they had nothing left. What were they afraid of? They were afraid of the Kishav Makkahs coming back.
The Rambam doesn't take any of this.
What does he learn about the Torah?
What about the snake?
He holds that this was all just trickery.
In Mitzrayim.
It was just an illusion.
That's why, of course, Kishav is an illusion because it's all Avodah Zarah. That's why it's called Avodah Zarah. The Eibishter is giving koyach to the whole world,
but he holds that there's no
Avodah Zarah
power
means that you think that has a power, but it does. You can change teva. A goy can change teva. Just the shaila is that he's doing it because he's saying, I'm changing Teva. Like Paro said, I'm the God, I'm the one who's changing Teva. He knew he wasn't changing Teva. He knew he was just hocus pocus, but it was still hocus pocus.
How do you
Maybe
change
from the Rambam's times, maybe prior to the Rambam. Maybe prior to the Rambam there wasn't, after there
So
wasn't.
there are you hit on something. There
Oh
are
shit!
that
The
hold
Rabbi
that way.
lived in Mitzrayim when they no longer had this power.
There are shittas that hold that way. That they hold that there was a time in history that these things had a power.
Weren't the
Then
Chazal Bavato Vodazar at some point during the
Right.
Gemara?
That's the
they were
That would
mavatl
be
the
the
Yetzer
turning-
Hora from Vodazona. It doesn't say they were mavatl Kishu.
So
Power.
So if you say that there was a power for Vodazara, then just because the Yetzirah was Mavato doesn't mean the power
No.
itself was
Right.
Mavato.
You could say it, but it doesn't mean it.
What does power mean? What does that really mean?
So
There is
according
no,
to the Rambam, it's all an
spiritual
illusion.
effect? Right.
Nothing. If the
Right.
guy is scared,
Right.
it's all just smoke and mirrors.
Let's say so no one's talking out of his lechi, his armpits, and the Torah says,
Yeah.
"Oivi Adoini." That doesn't exist. How does he explain Oivi
The
Adoini?
guy, it's like, yeah.
Obviously, everything about hocus pocus is hocus pocus.
No, but he's
But
really
it's still hocus
not the guy on the
pocus.
wall.
What I'm saying, there's no hocus pocus.
He has a string for his lips.
He has a string
They're
for his
not,
lips.
they're not arguing. No one's saying that there's a real voodoo
No,
doll.
that's the
Because the
machlokes.
voodoo doll is all everything's from HaKadosh Baruch Hu. So what are they arguing about?
Is the
According to
voodoo
the
doll speaking or
Rambam,
not?
you could, if you're scared from witchcraft, you're a fool.
Right, but that's because you think that it has power over you. What you see by the Rebbe Rashab, he said that they should learn, and if they don't learn, then they don't have power. You know, it's like Eno Mevadoi. There's a story with there's many stories like Tzaddikim. They went on the train and they say you have to think Eno Mevadoi, and the Nazis won't see you. There are stories like that. If you're connected to the Torah, then you're not connected to Tulah. But it's not a question of believing. It's just a question of knowing that the Eno Mevadoi, then you won't be affected by it.
Listen, Einam Mevada for sure works. That's no question. And then the person, but that for sure works. The Rambam and the Ramban all agree. The question is the power that's against you. That according to the Ramban, it has the substance to it.
Yes.
According to the Rambam, it's only in your mind. And if you can clear your mind, and you say Einod Mavade, and you clear your mind, you become super rational.
What was Aaron doing?
Said,
What was Aaron doing when he threw down his stick?
so
Was
that's
it
a
his mind?
huge shaila. I understand. So
No, I'm saying what
someone
what
just
did
said one of the
how would the
Terutzim
Rambam explain it? He's saying it wasn't. Aaron knew it wasn't true, and he was just doing it because he knew that they
No,
were.
Aaron's
seeing-
was true and theirs were false.
Theirs was black magic. His
Right.
was a sham.
Maybe
Right.
maybe he had like a wax form and a snake was inside it.
Right. That was a yeah.
He's saying he was Houdini.
Not he, not Aaron. Aaron was doing the real stuff, but the others were doing the fake
black
stuff.
But
magic.
the ones that mean the real. How can a stick turn into a snake?
A wax form?
They had some. They had a trick of how to make
And
it
then there's a
look.
snake inside.
Aaron knew the tricks. You're saying he knew.
Aaron didn't
But
know
they
the
couldn't
trick.
switch
They
it
knew
back,
the trick.
right?
That's
And what was
right.
Aaron doing?
They
Aaron
couldn't
was
switch
doing
theirs
what God
back.
told him.
What happened with the
They
stick?
couldn't switch it back. Think about it.
So is that Kishin?
But they,
So that's what Hashem is telling you, that Hashem can change Teva to make it look like hocus pocus.
Yeah, only when Aaron does it, but not when the Khartoumim
So
do
they
it.
weren't doing hocus pocus?
No, they had some trick. They had a-
What Hashem made Zeh Lumazeh, right? There's the Ruach HaTumah in the world, and the Ruach HaTumah Zeh Lumazeh.
that's a
There's
good
the Ruach HaTumah, right?
They-
So theirs was from the Ruach HaTumah, right? But it's just like saying, is God not in the bathroom?
No,
That was the whole machlokes with the Baal Shem Tov and the Bra.
Understand?
So you're
The
saying
Rambam
that he's saying Hashem's not doing that? Why, if he's doing that, why isn't he doing
The
that?
Rambam says no. That they did a trick. They had a real snake, and they made it look as if it's a stick, and then they just let it
but they
loose.
couldn't switch it back. Only Aaron could switch it back.
Right?
They couldn't switch it back because they couldn't go backwards.
It's a
I
Rambam.
don't get it.
The Rambam is very.
I don't get it.
Let's read.
David
He's Egyptian.
Copperfield. Think David Copperfield.
Oh, but then the Egyptians in his day
He'll
couldn't do
change
that.
the
They
copper
also
into
knew
the
their
copper.
stuff. You know, it's like living in the air.
Let's read it quickly inside. The Sheilos is about the party in the office. The answer is look at Shulchan Aruch here today. Avodas kechavim asura b'noahi v'tashmisha. Everything in Avodah Zarah is forbidden to have pleasure of it. V'noya v'takrev, to anything that's brought as an offering. Eza noya v'eza takrev to noya k'gon shemadlik l'fnei neidos v'shot l'fnei begodim v'kelim begodim noyim l'noyim krevis. Kol shekeyoytza by korv agam mizbeach kamei kol mina meichel k'gon bosser shmonim slosas mayim melechim v'nichel l'fonim Hashem takrevis nasam yad. Any idol, if they put in front of it anything that would be put on the Mizbeach, immediately it becomes also not only to eat, but also to have anah means you're not allowed to take it and sell it and make money of it. Aber da shema kriven men befnim in en neser elm kein osa kein zwiche oder kein zrika mishtaberes wo derch auf der Vayetzei davar. Aber bis ein derch auf der sein in keits da wird gekommen schon neser schon makaschke schon von der makel mit shiber makel neser ne shvisa makel demel zwiche. If you take a piece of meat and you put it in front of an idol, immediately it's also to eat it or have enough of it. But if you're going to take a stick was never brought on the mizbeach. So then if you put the stick there, it doesn't become osur. But you have to, if you're going to break the stick and put it there, then it becomes osur. Back to the question, in the fruits that are put in front of the Buddha, I am not sure that the fruits are for sure osur b'achila ba'anoah, because it could be they don't do anything, they're just putting it on the floor right in front of the Buddha. For sure not a good idea to eat it.
Maybe they're doing a little shmua, like they just do it because the other chayas are doing it. But they don't care. They don't do it shmua.
But in India, these people are really serving avodah zarah. You got to be careful. I said that I think in this, obviously, the candles, chas v'shalom, to have enough from the candles. To get dressed, chas v'shalom, to put on a mask. But if they give her the candles, take it home and use the Hanukkah candles. But it's obviously not going to happen. But I'm just saying, what's the din? But one thing's for sure. To my mind, if they're going to make a party, which she said they will, and they're going to have soda, and they'll have liquor. She's working in a bank. It's one of the Fortune 500 companies. They're not serving out avodah zarah. It's a cultural thing. They're trying to act as if they're very cultural and fancy. The Glenlivet on the table and the Coca-Cola on the table, coming straight out of the fridge.
They even have chocolate milk on the table.
That's not. Yeah, that's not. I said that's mutar gomor. You can drink the liquor, the soda, or whatever stuff they're going to serve at the party. It's not a mesiba shel avodah zarah.
You could eat nash too?
Nash. I don't think it's a mesiba shel avodah zarah. They're not making a mesiba. It's a company thing. They want to treat they want to act as if they're being multicultural.
Sensitive to other,
Yeah,
sensitive
exactly.
to other cultures.
No, the candles. Look, the candles are, even if they don't know how to serve the avodah zarah, the candles are avodah zarah.
Well, how is the candles different?
Because they don't know how to serve avodah zarah, but they know that this avodah zarah requires to light candles. So even if they don't, they're lighting candles for avodah zarah. But the soda they're having at a party.
It doesn't have to be what we call the shema for the avodah zarah.
Right.
If you light candles,
they're doing that
even
avodah
if you
zarah.
don't do it l'shem avodah zarah, but that's what's
But
done
they're
for
doing
avodah
it.
zarah, then
Right.
that's
Doing it.
what
What if they
counts.
make it tanoi? They say shmuda. If you exist, these are your candles. If you're not, then I'm just.
I don't think the company's doing that.
I'm saying, what if a guy did it? Did a guy said, listen, if you big fat Buddha, if you exist, then these are for you. If not, I'm taking them home tomorrow.
Yeah.
So in other words, I want to get the best of both worlds. I'm giving you this offering, and
if you eat it, it belongs to you.
Yeah,
if you don't eat it, I'm taking it back home.
If you put money in my bank account, perfect. If not, I'm going to make orange juice.
Avodah zarah out tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah. He throws the money up to heaven. Whatever you want to take for you, the rest I change. If they make such a tanai, but in India they're not making such tanai. In India they really believe in avodah zarah. It's unbelievable
Where's
how
he getting
shluchim. There's a shliach the Gemara says that Avraham Avinu had a mesechtes avodah zarah that had 400 prokim, and it was all lost because it's not relevant today. All the hilchas avodah zarah, who's not relevant for most of us. But here the shluchim today in India. Who unbelievable? Like could you get milk from the cow?
You feel like go down the street.
Right. Okay, David shall helfen.
They make
So we come
offerings from the dirt.
Hanukkah. We can light the real candles.
Amazing.
Oisel Hashem Amlucha.
Oh, man. Oh, yeah.